The final talk today is launching membership for WDI, and I'm going to read out our membership invitation, which is actually, we have put it on our website. Now, we've been talking about this in the country contacts and activist meeting and in the directors of WDI for a long time and taking ideas. But if you can think of something better and you see that it's not a perfect way of going forward, do just get in touch and we'll try this and then see how it goes. So we're delighted to report that as a result of the support, this is the letter that's going to go out, and the hard work of so many women volunteers committed to preserving women's sex-based rights on a non-partisan basis, we've grown far beyond our early hopes. We have more than 35,000 signatories, and hundreds of women participate in our weekly Feminist Question Time and Radical Feminist Perspectives. With the support, which we've had fantastic support of amazing volunteers and donors, we've been able to produce and share video recordings of all our programs. And our working groups and task forces have produced letters, platforms, policy proposals, and organisational position papers that we have shared with numerous national and international organisations, legislative and judicial bodies. We're now looking for our sisterhood to support a membership model in the future, so that we can do even more to advance women's sex-based rights in the face of gender identity ideology. We want to increase the number of our signatories to 50,000 by the end of 2023, to create a task force to mount serious and effective opposition at the level of international organisations, including the European Union and the United Nations. Strengthen the feminist barrier against more countries implementing gender self-identity. Support women's resistance to gender identity ideology globally via our webinars, education programs, and country contact structures. We want to create accessible online resources, including databases of international references and up-to-date information about the state of gender identity ideology across the globe, and develop training resources to make us all more effective advocates for women's rights. If you are a woman, we invite you to join us as a member of the WDI Sisterhood. Membership is open to all women, adult human females 18 years or older, who oppose gender identity ideology and have signed the Declaration on Women's Sex-Based Rights. When you become a member, you'll take a place in our international community of women working to advance women's rights in accordance with the principles we've all committed to in the Declaration. WDI members connect with like-minded women near and far in their own countries and across the world to share information and experiences, develop working relationships and skills, and use the power of our women's community to combat gender identity ideology. To strengthen the WDI community and its political efforts, we offer members the following ways to develop and use the knowledge base, organisational and advocacy skills we need to continue our critical work. So members will get these additional things. So much of what we do already will be available to everybody, but there'll be a couple of extra things that members get. So invitations to member-only webinars, and we're going to have our first special member-only webinar in September 2023. Newsletter updates, which will be from time to time. Online and in-person webinars about our latest policy and litigation initiatives, again, from time to time. It's not going to replace what we're doing. It will be an additional thing. Opportunities to participate in surveys we use to develop program content. And we have not got this yet, but I want to get a free patch, and the patch will be better than this because it will be the WDI logo. So I'll put it down, and it's going to be, so it will be really just the logo, and it will be one of those sort of embroidered patches that you can put on over one of these Go Woke, Go Broke logos. So I don't know if this logo on my hat has gone trans identity ideology, but what we're thinking is that you'll get a free patch, and then you can sew it on over the logo of your clothes. So you don't have to buy new clothes. You can recycle old clothes, but you can upgrade them to get rid of the bad logo. And look at this. I'm going to just move this a little bit so I can show you, hopefully. So say, for instance, this lovely shirt that I've got, which I really like, I would be able to sew on my patch on top of it and carry on. Bob's your uncle. Well, maybe Sheila's your aunt, or Karen's your auntie. But that will be fantastic because it means that we can very easily get that to you. We're hoping to get an online shop with these patches, so different size patches. And then we're also, well, this is my idea, that I'd love this. In our in-person meetings, we'll have sewing experts to help you to sew on the logo if you're really rubbish at sewing. So we'll have a couple of volunteer sewers. So you bring your clothes along and buy some patches and we'll sew them all on. So I think that's my dream scenario, but we haven't got that bit of the patches up and running yet, but we'll aim to get that soon. So our immediate new goals, apart from the patches, include increasing our numbers and initiating directed opposition in national and international forums. Now, how to become a member? You can be a donor member or an activist member or both. So you can be both. If you're a donor member, you can donate through our Patreon page. We've got one-time or monthly donations directly to our bank, or set up a standing order to donate if you can from your bank. And we're hoping to make a couple of other options to make it even easier and more versatile for donating. But for the moment, the link that is on the website on the news page works just to get to our donations. Now, if you are a donor member and you donate directly to our bank, we don't get your email. So if you could send us your email to info@womensdeclaration.com, then we'll know, and then we'll be able to put you on the list and send you a patch and invite you to these member-only events. And if you have donated in the past, you will be a donor member. So as long as we've got your email, so there might be a few glitches, there might be a couple of people who we, for some reason, haven't got the email. So if you feel you are a donor member and you've been overlooked, let us know. You can become an activist member. So you don't need to donate to be a member. And also, in fact, you could donate as much or as little as you want. So you don't have to, there's no cut-off point for how much you donate in order to be a member. So it's like we had a conference in the UK, and you could come by donating what you could in order to come to the conference. So it's not going to be a large amount. You could, whatever you can afford. But you could just be an activist member, and you could do some or all of the following. Share information you've learned in the WDI webinars, presentations, and FU2, and conversations with family, friends, and neighbours, or on social media. So in some ways, our activism is more important than the donations, because we're sharing the word. Let others know about the WDI's video library of feminist conferences, conversations, and book discussions. Use the skills you've gained through WDI training webinars. And there's also the US site. There are sites with loads of information and training webinars on the USA site. So that's another place to go. Participate in formal advocacy efforts led by WDI, or get your own going. And if you need support from WDI, get it, or use the declaration. You could buy and wear the WDI clothes. We do have some clothes, particularly there's a shop that the USA group have. So you could get stuff from there, or merchandise, and we'll put a link to that. And then this patch thing, and we're hoping to make it even more easy to get stuff in different parts of the world. And we also have if you have been an activist in the past, and you find that you can't be an activist anymore because of other commitments, then what we'll do is we can give you life membership for, so it doesn't, we don't want to make this exclusive. So if a woman has to take time off, or has done loads of work for WDI, or even some work, who wants to be a member but then can't, for a range of different reasons, you will still be able to stay a member. So it's not, this is meant to be an opportunity for women to get involved and to feel part of something, to have a membership. And it will also be good for us to strengthen our organisation, but it's not aiming to exclude anybody who wants to be in it. So if you're thinking all of this means you can't be a member, then, and if there is something we've forgotten, then just email and we'll try to include that. Yeah, and that's it. So that's fantastic. So we've finished in time for the end of the webinar. So thank you very much for listening to that. Any ideas about how to make that better, please do get in touch.